Hi everyone, hope you all are doing really well and preparing now. I think interview has been started. You might got a lot of calls, and as an experienced person you should also wondering what fundamental or the Azure fundamental course you can do it. But I think this is the basic one, which is Microsoft Azure fundamental, which is Az-900. I'll give you just brief about it in this part 1, and maybe in the part 2 we'll have more detail about what it exactly does. So I have a few notes of it, and then I made a PPT out of it, and I think this will give you all information about the topics and what all the basics of it. So before we start, I request you to all to subscribe to my channel. Please likes and share to all the people around so that it will be helpful for them. Okay, let's quickly jump on to the main topic, which is called Azure. I think many of the people are working on Azure DevOps tool, that is like for the test management. The user stories and everything are there in the Azure, but there are different things also we will be doing it in Azure, which is Azure Cloud Computing Services, which is created by Microsoft for building and testing, deploying, managing applications and service through Microsoft and managed data center. So there are there are developers, which is like Microsoft. There are versions. Okay, the initial release was on 27th October 2008. It was operating system which will be using is Linux, Windows, iOS and Android. License are like closed source, open source or SDKs versions. There will be a global data center, which is I think of 1,65,000 miles fibers plus 140 country, and there are containers. Okay, so Azure use a resource group to host resources. So we also know the types of Microsoft Azure services, which is SaaS, software as a services, which is third party software over internet, PaaS, platform as a services, tool over internet, and IaaS, infrastructure as a services, which is cloud based services, which is basically called as a storage. There will be the history of it also. You can go and check it out in the Google as well. So here first will be now we'll be understanding what is cloud computing. So cloud computing is a delivery of computing services over the internet, enabling faster innovation, flexible resources, and economics of scale. Okay, so computer provide like power networking, connections of together of VM, storage of data information, analytics, and like there are different kind of things like compute, networking, storage and analytics. So compute provides the computer power, networking provides connections of computer together of VM, and then we have storage, which stores the data information, and we have analytics, which is important, and the kind of load, how much memory is required. So Microsoft Azure hosting as a service provider. So all the service provided by the internet. There are now we have public cloud, private cloud and hybrid cloud. So you might have heard about public, private and hybrid. So public is like generally general public can host their services over there. Public cloud owned by cloud services or hosted. There is a provider which can be which can be act as a host for a public cloud and provide resources and services to multiple organization and user, like they can access it via internet. This is the important point. Public cloud solutions are ready available from Azure. Azure provide infrastructures and services to the public. Okay, then we have private cloud. So private cloud is like organization create a cloud environment in their data center. So this is mainly private. We will be buying it. Okay, how we have the VM and everything, right? VPN, we have it, right? So organization is responsible for operating the services they provide, does not provide access to the user outside of the organization. So I think we also have it like in our Azure DevOps. There are particular people only can access those things. Those who get the permissions from the admin, they can only access. That is called private cloud. And Disadvantage is definitely a cost, because you will be having a lot of your services is like it is not public, it can be used by set of people, and that license has to be buy, and that is associated with the cost. So private cloud are dedicated to one organizations and often have much more specific security controls than a public cloud. So and the Azure is giving them the security controls, right? There are a lot of HRID like conditionings and everything has been done. So based on that, there will be costs associated with it. Now we have a hybrid cloud. So how, like most of the application does works on hybrid cloud as well, wherein they have to host some of the APIs or anything to the outer environment as well, like the outer customers as well. And there were some things which is for the internal people also. There are organizations which works on that they have their like the product based organizations. So they have the customer internally as well as outside of the organization. So they worked on the hybrid cloud thing. So they have is a organization today adopting hybrid cloud, which is it's a combination of public and private both. So connecting existing data center to Azure via internet with the help of VPN tunnel. So hybrid cloud is a blend of public and private cloud. So we're gonna have more about it in the upcoming video, and we just understand the basic of it. There are three clouds like public, private, and the hybrid, and what are they does it. So, and now what are the cloud benefits we have it? It's like high availability. So application hosted into one data center and copy the existing into another data center. So we can create the replications of data into two different machines. We can do that. Scalability. We can have two types of scalability. We can horizontally or vertically. So vertically scale up and down, increasing and decreasing the computer entity, RAM processor, and horizontal if one virtual machine managed by load balance to the city or the data center. So elasticity, only adding the scaling is called elasticity. Agility, on demand service, fast to reply, deploy, VM control panel or portal, easy to create what will machine define the properties. Disaster recovery, replicate the data into another prevent during the disaster time, easy to recover parts of ability. Okay. Now we have now we were into cloud benefits. Okay, now we also have consumption based model. What all models we have it, like pay as per the use, like cloud benefits. Okay, like as per the use you can pay it. Cost optimizations like CADX and OPEX optimization, we're gonna have it in the upcoming slide. Global reach, availability of the data entire across the globe. Security access and use the application. So now cloud capex and opex. So capex is capital expenditure, the upfront spending of money on physical infrastructure. Cost from capex having a value that reduce over time. So okay, you buy some infrastructure and there you have the data center over there, and then you have that is the money is associated with it. And then OPEX, operational expenditure, spends on products and services as needed and pay as uses. So if you don't have the data center, so for example, like capital expenditure, you buy a house and you stay there, and then what happens is over the time your rent, like the cost, whatever you're spending, like what happens is this is how it is, right? So for example, you have to live for over the years and years, like 10, 5, 15 years. So it's better to buy a house and stay instead of paying the rent like 40,000 and 50,000 in Bangalore. So better to buy it so that your cost will reduce over time. So okay. But for example, if you have to stay for 2 months or 3 months, so it's better to have pay as per the usage. Like it's better to, instead of buying it, you can take it on rent and use it. So that's how it is, like operational expenditure and the capital expenditure. So consumption based model. So Azure or any cloud services provides a provider operates on consumption based model, which means end user only pay for the resources that they use, because there are wide things are there, because sometimes some of the teams does not need entire board, because some of the people does not deploy or do their testing things through ADO. They might have different tool. I worked in a project wherein the test management only done by Azure, but in the Azure tool, but they run their test cases and everything through UFT or ALM. So they doesn't need, because since it is not integrated in Azure, they don't need that the entire pipeline configuration stuff. For pipeline they use Jenkins, for developers are using Jenkins, so they are not using Azure. So they don't have to pay for all those things what they're not using. So it is like whatever they use it, is what they have to pay for. So better cost predictions, in that, like, the cost predictions are better. Price for individual resources and service provided, and bill is based on the actual users, like what you are actually using it for. That based on, like, consumption based model is work on that. So okay, now we just come to end, because it's just a short or brief. I don't want to waste your time, just a brief about it. And if you like it, I'll definitely make a more video on this one, because I've just completed a few courses on Azure DevOps. And yeah, so we have a cloud services, which is objective domain. We have IaaS, infrastructure as a services, PaaS, platform as a services, and then SaaS, software as a services. And then we have what? Identify a service type based a new case, and describe serverless computing. So we're gonna have more on this one maybe in my upcoming video. Till that time, you just don't forget to subscribe my channel. So we're gonna have more detail of IaaS. And yes, if you want me to make a more video, I want your comment or a good comment into my video, and then I'll definitely make a video. If you find it useful, do let me know. Thank you guys. Bye bye.